What if I told you that Titanic, yes, that legendary film of love and tragedy, quietly hides a financial formula more powerful than any get-rich-quick scheme you've ever heard of? Not just a love story, not just a disaster epic, but a blueprint. A money-making code wrapped in a sinking ship. Most missed it. But once you see it, you'll never watch the movie the same way again. It's not just about Jack and Rose. It's not about the iceberg. It's about something deeper, woven into every shot, every scene, every line of dialogue. Behind the romance, behind the orchestra playing as the ship goes down, there's a secret, a whisper, a lesson in wealth so bold, so timeless that those who understand it can rewrite their financial destiny. You see, Titanic is a mirror, and if you look closely, it reflects the very forces that sink empires and raise fortunes. The difference between drowning in debt and sailing into financial freedom lies in what you don't see until someone shows you. Now pause, think. Why did the richest man on the ship survive in legacy, while the poor artist became immortal in story? Why were some passengers blind to the warnings, while others quietly secured their lifeboats long before the panic? These aren't just plot points, they're parables, and you're about to decode them. Let's start with this. Wealth doesn't follow those who chase it blindly. It rewards those who read the signs, who spot the iceberg before anyone else. Jack had intuition, Rose had courage, but Cal had control over money, over people, over fate. Each character represents a mindset, and one of them holds the key to how money really works. There's a scene, barely noticed, where the ship's designer, Thomas Andrews, pleads with the passengers to put on their life vests. He knows what's coming, but the crowd, they laugh, they sip champagne, they say, "This ship can't sink." That moment, that's you, ignoring the warning signs in your bank account. That's the market before a crash. That's the illusion of unsinkable wealth. But here's the catch. The survivors weren't the richest. They were the ones who acted, the ones who listened, even when the music was still playing. Money favors movement, not status, not talk, action. And Titanic shows us that in heartbreaking, cinematic clarity. So what's the formula? It's simple, not easy, but simple. It's all about timing, positioning, and emotional leverage. Titanic teaches that money doesn't flow to the loudest voice, but to the quiet strategist, the one who knows when to let go of the rail. And jump into the unknown, and here's where it gets real, because this isn't just about a movie anymore. It's about your life, your financial ship. You can keep sailing toward the iceberg with your eyes closed, or you can learn to read the waves. The clues are there. They've always been there. Titanic just framed them in 24 frames per second. And now, it's your turn to see. Well, now we dive deeper, where the ocean gets dark and the secrets begin to rise like ghosts from the deep. You're still here, which means you're not just curious, you're ready to peel back the velvet curtain and see what James Cameron really taught us, not with charts or textbooks, but with tears, violins, and a ship torn in half. The Titanic formula isn't fiction, it's hidden truth, cloaked in cinema. Let's break it open. Jack Dawson, the power of emotional currency. Jack had no money, nothing but a sketchbook, a smile, and a wild spirit. And yet, he got the girl, the dinner in first class, the attention of the elite. Why? Emotional currency. He traded in connection, authenticity, presence. In today's world, this is branding. This is influence. People buy from those they feel. Jack was rich in soul, and the market always pays those who move hearts. Think about it. In the age of content, emotion is currency. Be real, be raw, be Jack. Rose, breaking free from financial illusions. Rose was drowning before the ship, even hit the iceberg, trapped in wealth, chained by social status, suffocating in a golden cage. She teaches us something most don't learn until it's too late. Money without meaning is misery. She had everything, yet nothing. Her transformation? That's financial awakening. The moment you realize wealth isn't just accumulation, it's liberation. It's the freedom to jump, even when you don't know what lies below. Cal. The illusion of control. Cal had money. Real money. Old money. But it didn't save him. His wealth was power without purpose. He tried to buy loyalty, love, even survival. But money alone cannot shield you from collapse if it's built on ego. In finance, Cal is the arrogant investor, the one who ignores risk, who doubles down on a sinking ship. Cal teaches us this: arrogance is expensive, and the market doesn't care how rich you think you are. The iceberg, the unseen risks. Every investor, every entrepreneur, every dreamer has an iceberg, something hidden, something that could tear their plans in half. Titanic didn't sink because they didn't see the iceberg. It sank because they didn't respect it. In money, this is debt, bad partnerships, ignoring taxes, not diversifying. The iceberg always looks small until it's too late. Be the captain who watches the horizon. Anticipate, prepare, steer with strategy. The lifeboats, scarcity and urgency. Remember how there weren't enough lifeboats? That wasn't an accident. That was arrogance dressed as luxury. In finance, the lifeboats are opportunities, and they are always limited, time-sensitive, reserved for those who act fast, not think forever. The ones who hesitate, who wait for perfect timing. They're the ones left on the deck, praying for a miracle. Don't wait. Lifeboats don't circle back. The music, the calm, before the collapse. The band played as the ship sank, beautiful, haunting, and terrifying. That's the market, friend. It sounds stable, it looks fine, right before everything goes under. If you listen only to the music, the media, the hype, the comfort, you'll miss the silence beneath it. Smart money listens for what's not being said. Be the one who hears the shift before the scream. The unsinkable myth. Trusting the wrong narrative. They said the Titanic is unsinkable, and people believed it because humans love certainty. But in wealth, in markets, in life, nothing is truly unsinkable. Not real estate, not tech stocks, not banks, not you. The secret. Don't build your future on narratives. Build it on principles. Learn to question, to doubt, to investigate. That's how you stay afloat when the myths go down. Legacy. Who will tell your story? Jack died, but he lived forever. Rose remembered him. We remember him. Cal survived, but was forgotten. This is legacy. It's not about how much you make, it's about what you mean. True wealth is when your actions echo beyond your lifetime. Build a brand, leave a mark. Tell a story worth retelling. Money comes and goes, but legacy, that's eternal. So now the question echoes back to you. Are you sailing blind toward the iceberg, or are you decoding the map hidden in the film? Because Titanic wasn't just a tragedy, it was a treasure chest. And now, you've got the key. And now we sail further, past the surface, into the depths where most never dare to look, because the real treasure of Titanic is buried not beneath the ocean, but beneath our perceptions. You see, most viewers only saw a love story. A few saw a cautionary tale, but the rarest of minds, they saw a financial fabula disguised as a blockbuster. Let's talk about value versus price. Jack offered Rose a hand, a thrill, a spark, no diamonds, no titles. Yet his value was immeasurable. Cal, on the other hand, had a pocket full of jewels and an empty soul. In the world of business, how often do we chase price over value? How many investments glitter but bring no growth? Titanic whispers, invest in what matters. Not in the loud, the polished, the status symbols, but in the things that grow in meaning with time. Then there's the crowd behavior. Oh, this is vital. In the chaos, people rushed, shoved, screamed. Many froze. Only a few moved with clarity. Financial markets are no different. When panic strikes, the majority follows the crowd. But wealth, real wealth, belongs to those who stay calm when the crowd is loud. The film teaches us, learn to think when others are reacting. That's where your fortune lies. And what about the unseen workers, the engine room crew? They didn't dine in first class. No violins serenaded their struggle, but they kept the ship alive as long as they could. These unsung heroes, in your finances, they're the habits, the routines, the budget you keep, the discipline no one applauds. You want financial success? Start with what's invisible, because that's what holds the structure. Now look at Rose's transformation, from a caged bird to a woman who leapt into the unknown. She teaches us the cost of comfort zones. The true escape wasn't from the sinking ship, it was from the life she thought she had to live. Sometimes making money isn't about knowing more. It's about becoming more, shifting your identity, daring to break from the familiar narrative. That's when abundance begins. And then there's the unsent letter, the stories never told, the art Jack would have created, the life Rose would have never lived if she hadn't jumped. How many dreams die because we think we have time? This movie, whether it meant to or not, is a financial sermon. Don't wait to act on your ideas. Time is the real iceberg, and it's coming for all of us. One of the greatest metaphors in the film is the ticket, that little slip of paper that determines your access, your fate, your deck. Jack wins his ticket in a poker game, a risk, a bold move. Sometimes your breakthrough will only come when you bet on yourself. When you play, knowing you could lose. The secret is, the greatest fortunes come from those who risk with wisdom, who trust their gut, and then move. And as the ship goes down, we see the hierarchy dissolve. Rich or poor, status didn't matter anymore, and that's your wake-up call. Because in the end, money can't protect you from time, from regret, from a life unlived. What protects you is meaning, intention, alignment. Titanic says, use your money to build something that lasts longer than you. Think of the safe, locked with Cal's riches, sinking slowly into the abyss. That's a warning. Don't store your treasure in things that can sink. Store it in skills, in impact, in value that floats even when the world collapses. And as Rose releases the diamond into the sea, she's not throwing away wealth. She's reclaiming power. She chooses what matters. That's the real financial mastery. When money no longer controls you, but serves you. When your heart leads, and your hands build something worthy of your name. So now we arrive at the edge of revelation. The screen fades, the credits roll. But your story, yours is just beginning. Ask yourself, what kind of ship are you building? What mindset drives your voyage? Are you sailing by default or by design? If this message hit home, if it made you see Titanic and your own life through new eyes, then don't keep this truth to yourself. Leave a like to let the algorithm know this message needs to spread. Subscribe if you want to dive deeper into the hidden wisdom hidden in stories, films, and faith. Comment what part struck you most. Your voice might help someone else find clarity, and share this video with someone who's been drifting financially and needs a compass. And if you're new here, don't stop now. Go watch the previous videos. We've been uncovering gems like this across stories you thought you knew, but now you're seeing the gold beneath the surface. And trust me, there's so much more to come.